The most basic entity of a database is a table. Now let's see how to create a table. Now if you observe this, create is the command which is used to create the table in the database, right? It is used to create a table in database. Now the syntax is create table, table name, and then we have to specify what are all the columns in it, right? Like column 1 and what is its data type and what is its width, and column 2 what is its data type and what is its width. So you are supposed to specify that. Now with these specifications we can create a table. See, there are other things that you can specify while creating a table, right? We shall see those constraints later. For now this is the basic command. Later we can extend it. The basic command is like create a table, and you have to specify the table name, and then you have to specify what are all the attributes. The attributes are also called as columns, right? So column 1, column 2, like this. And every attribute can have a data type. For example, name of a person is different from the salary he is getting, right? Therefore the data type that is used to store the name and the data type that is used to store the salary, both of them have to be different, right? And also the size is also going to be different. So if you look at the salary, maybe 7 figures or 6 figures are enough, and if you look at the name, then the width can be more, right? So based on that, some data types are defined. I'll tell you what are the data types. Let's see an example on this. Create table customer. We are trying to create a table customer in which name is of data type variable character, and see, varchar2 is the name of the data type. Don't worry about the exact details, they are not required. Just understand that it is a data type used to store the characters, and then the size is 30. So the meaning of it is you can have a name to a maximum length of 30 characters. Now by writing this way, we can specify how much space that we should be allocating for this particular field. Right, when you're trying to implement this database, every table is a kind of structure. In a structure you have to allocate space for every field. Now by writing like this, you will be sure that you don't need more than 30 characters. So it is always better that you give the width, so that creating of table will be effective in terms of the space. You are not going to dedicate more than 30 characters for any name. Okay, and the next one is customer ID. It is a number. So what does it mean? Customer ID is a field. See, so how to interpret it is, we are going to create a table and the name of the table is customer, and one of the attribute is name, right? And this is of type, data type. The data type which is used to store the name is varchar, variable character, and its size is 30, which means we are never going to exceed 30 characters in order to store any name. And the next one is customer ID. So it means that the customer ID is a column, which means one attribute, and generally customer IDs will be numbers. That is why the data type we are using is a number. And the next one is address. Now address is also a kind of text. That is why we are using the characters to save it. So varchar is a data type which is used to save it, and we are allocating 50 characters to store the address. Got it? Okay, now what are all the data types? If you see this, these are some of the data types, isn't it? Now let's see what are all the data types which are present in SQL. We have numerous data types in SQL, and these are all the list. If you want to save numeric data, which means if the data is consisting of numbers like phone number or salary, right, or let's say age, these are all numbers, right? Then you are going to use these formats. So what are the various formats used for numbers is, one is number and float. Float is used for floating point numbers, and then integers, real numbers, decimal, and binary float. So binary numbers can also be stored, right? And the next one is for characters. So if you look at the name of a person, or name of a department, or name of an employee, name of a dependent, right? So if you are looking at the names, generally they will be, even address is also characters, isn't it? Therefore we are having all these data types which can be used in order to save the characters. So one is char, other is varchar, and nchar, and nvarchar2, long draw, and long draw. So don't worry about the exact details of these types. so they are not required for us. Just know that they are existing. Okay, and the next one is date. So in order to save the date, again we have various formats. We can use the date format, or we can use the time data structure, or timestamp, or interval. And also you can have sometimes boolean, right? So boolean data type is also being used for some attributes. So in that case we are going to use boolean. Got it? Okay.